Hi, I'm Chad Huebener.
And I'm Sara Huebener with Edina Realty, and today we are going to be giving a late summer market update now that we are winding down August of 2023. One of the first things that we can talk about that we're observing in the market is the interest rates. As of this past week, they're right around 7.5%, and that is certainly having an impact on the market. We are seeing it affect transactions in a number of ways.
Yeah, and before we even get into how it's affecting the transactions, in regards to the market in general, we're still seeing that low inventory, which is kind of keeping the market more stable. We're not seeing necessarily increases in pricing or even a lot of decrease in pricing, but more stable. I know it's been a broken record for the last 3 to 4 years about the low inventory, but that's really kind of stabilizing things with the increase in interest rates. And that kind of brings us into, now that the interest rates are getting higher, what's the effect on that?
Yeah. And really, I think the main thing that we're seeing is a change in the traffic. When the interest rates were low, the showing traffic, it was floodgates, just opening the floodgates, and the buyers were rolling in. And we have seen that pare back a little bit. We are seeing buyers really looking at affordability and how they can structure a transaction to make it work for them. And some ways that they're doing that include contingent offers. We are certainly seeing more and more offers coming in contingent on a home sale. Sometimes contingent offers in the mind of a seller get a bad rap, but it's not always a bad thing. If you have an offer that's contingent on a home sale, the first thing we do is look at the house that has to be sold. Maybe it's easier to sell that townhouse versus the subject property, and so it might be something worth rolling the dice on and banking on. Another thing that we are seeing in transactions as we're moving through the process is we are seeing buyers change their financing midway through the transaction. We've seen that a number of times this year as the rates have been fluctuating, where buyers are switching from conventional to FHA, just because it works better for them. It doesn't necessarily mean they're not a strong buyer. It just means that whatever loan program that their lender is discussing with them might be better by switching that type of financing arrangement.
Yeah, and that's been a departure from what we've seen in the past of things switching. And we've also seen in some recent transactions as people waiting to lock their interest rates.
Yeah,
with the fluctuations, we've seen people waiting longer than they typically do. I know in the last few years, people were locking right when they had an accepted purchase agreement to get that locked in. But now with a little bit more fluctuations, they're waiting.
They're waiting a little bit, and they're keeping an eye on things and grabbing a rate that looks good to them when things move downward. So that's really what we're seeing right now.
Yeah. Well, and one more thing too is with the introduction of more buyers or seller paid closing costs, a lot of sellers or a lot of buyers are asking for that and for rate buydowns, and just different products that are offered there just to get, you're in the 7% interest rates, they're trying to get them down as much as possible. Yep. So that's another thing that we are seeing.
Yes, it is. Yep. If we can answer any other specific questions for you about the market, reach out anytime. Thanks for watching our video and have a great day.